Alright, so as we all know, the world rotated around, Lightfall is here, and there is a lot of changes that did indeed happen. Like, in some ways, the way Polaris lands can now make ignitions happen, the way that volatile on things can do that, a lot of those stuff happens, a lot of updates is coming around. This is not that. This is the kind of gear that we can expect to see out in the world now with the launch of the new season, starting with some of the exotics. Now, some of these will not be readily available, some of these are not exactly there. But the first exotic we will have access to that is brand new is the new Stasis Bow Verglas Curve, which is a seasonal pass exotic, which means you have instant access to it if you have the season pass, otherwise earnable for everyone else. What makes this nice? Well, its perk, Hail Barrage, makes it so that final blows will grant stasis arrows, and your next hipfire shot will fire all of them in a single volley, which seems to be a similar, it's like the stasis equivalent of Hierarchy of Needs, where essentially you will build up charges of stasis arrows, or Grand Overture, let me say. You will build up charges with stasis arrows getting final blows, and then hit fire shot to shoot a bunch of arrows, and on that you will get the Hailstorm perk where stasis arrows themselves will freeze on contact and create stasis crystals affecting the environment. So if you hit something, they will freeze. If you do not hit something, it makes a stasis crystal. So that Stasis Glaive already has some competition. I know it already did because it was heavy and a lot of people didn't like that idea, but now we have that. And so there we go. A brand new bow for the collection, which if I imagine, yes, this one is actually kinetic. So if you wanted a kinetic stasis exotic, there you go. Now, going into the collections themselves, time to view the exotics from here. Now, in kinetic, that's where Verglas goes, but we have another kinetic here, which, holding my breath, this could be the stasis, excuse me, the raid one, because generally when it's unknown, that means it's not exactly wanting to be known. So, we also have Final Warning, which is the tracking full auto sidearm. So, we have the Strand sidearm all at once, holding down the trigger marks targets within range and loads multiple bullets, which fire in a burst with increased stability on trigger release. Hitting a marked target with a fully charged burst will unravel them. So basically, how do I put this? It was almost like this sounds like the smart pistol from Titanfall. Then we also have Pick Your Poison, where hit firing projectiles will track marked targets, dealing increased body shot damage, and aiming, projectiles have greatly increased velocity and deal extra crit hit to marked targets. So there's a lot of variety. You can use this any way you want to. Unfortunately, we don't seem to have a catalyst access to it, or any other thing. We just have those two perks for that. So that is all the kinetics we have access to currently. Then we have in the energy slot, no new energy just yet, but then in the power slot as well, we have Deterministic Chaos, which is that machine gun that I'm super excited for. If you didn't know what it does, makes it so that holding down the trigger will make every fourth bullet become a heavy projectile that will weaken on impact, and the Vexadecimal will make it so that every fourth heavy metal projectile will make something volatile. And because this is a high impact frame, or at least I believe, hang on, 360 round per minute machine gun, that's a 450. So that's the average. I do think this is a high impact frame, which means it's going to be a slower firing, so it's a bit easier to control generally. Plus, with perks like ricochet rounds and polygonal rifling, this is going to be a good DPS machine gun. I already have high hopes for how this one's going to turn out. Not sure where to get it though. It's just kind of there, so hopefully there's a quest for that. And we also have Winter Bite, that Stasis Glaive that everyone got butthurt at when it became heavy, but let's see. Fires a large ball of energy that locks onto nearby targets and freezes them. Intrinsic perk. With Alloy Mag, that Glaive perk, and then we also have Weighted Edge for this weapon's melee attacks deal increased damage and slow targets when loaded with ammo. So it sounds like this is a lot better than what people were hoping. It also comes with Tilting at Windmills, which is always a nice extra little perk for a Glaive. But I am super excited. It seems like to be another aggressive frame glaive as well with that high impact. So there's that. Then I want to do what I usually do. Now, ignoring a variety of new weapon ornaments, because that is cosmetics and I don't exactly care. I want to see if I can get a hint at anything. Let's see. That's Crimson. That's Ariana's, it looks like. Let's see. That's for Outbreak. I'm trying. If anyone wonders what I'm doing, I am trying to see if there is any new exotics that we don't see that we can get access to, because they seem to forget all the time about exotic ornaments giving us hints at things. Let's see. Tractor cannon. Damn, a lot of ornaments around nowadays. Galler phone. Let's see. Swords. Trace rifles. Alrighty, well, that... Hello? So that's something we don't exactly have access to. So this is Nexus Sunrise for Vex Caliber. A glaive. That was a glaive, right? Yep. So that's another exotic glaive we don't have ready access to. It's looking, it might be Strand, so this might be what's exactly hidden behind our thing, so there we go. That's what that new one is. Or at least that's something we don't exactly have ready access to. But aside from that, not sure what it does, but that's what we call it. So going into armor. Now we should, have 2 things for each class. So we have Cadmus Ridge Lance Cap, which, Diamond Lances create stasis crystals on impact when thrown, with more crystals created by hitting bosses and vehicles. While using a stasis subclass of a behind or rally barricade, rapid precision hits and combatant final blows with the stasis weapon create Diamond Lance near you. I am going to have fun with that. I love Diamond Lances. Plus, it looks awesome. And then we also have a Buy Leap, which is something we already knew. Drinker's Lash spawns 2 additional projectiles, so that pairs with Strand subclass, tracks targets more aggressively, and travels further. Gain more than Whale when suspending targets. So that is the Strand companion with our Titans. Then for for Hunters, we have the Facade, which is the granted woven mail when activating Grapple, increased flinch resistance when active, which I gotta admit looks coolishly freaky. I'm not gonna lie. But then what else do we have for our dear Hunters? We had Speed Loader Slacks. Dodging boosts reload speed, handling, and airborne effectiveness for you and nearby allies. While the buff is active, final blows and additional dodges increase the buff strength and refresh the timer maxes out at 5 stacks. Ho! So it sounds like Dragon Shadow just became irrelevant. Because what does that do? Let's see. Dodge and reload guns and buff speed and hit. It's literally better just in boot form. That is amazing. Then going into power weapon. Oh, wait, no, we already did that. Going on to our Warlocks, we have Swarmers, which if you didn't know is already bugged, but currently what they do is spawning Threadlings on Tangle Destruction, and your Threadlings unravel targets they damage, which gotta admit, look pretty freaking cool for exotic armor. And then going into Baldor's Wrath Weavers. Your Winter's Wrath projectile shockwave increases shatter damage. Allies in range of your shockwave given an overshield and increased damage with stasis weapons. Wow. They are really bringing out the big guns with some of these things. So, the Stasis, Warlock Stasis Super Shockwave will increase damage done, and then anyone within damage gets a boost to their stasis. That's pretty freaking cool. Now, that was the exotics, but now into the main bulk of the things we go through and the weapons themselves. Now, let's see for auto rifles. Let's see a few new things. So Dark Decider is still around. Now, we have a Strand auto rifle from the season in the form of Perpetualis, which is an adaptive frame, not like Christiania Meluso or whatever, but, Hatchling, a new perk for this year. Precision final blows are rapidly defeating final blows with non-precision weapons spawns a Threadling at target location. Strand Dragonfly. Yes, please. And then we also have a Coronac 22, which is an adaptive frame Suros auto rifle. So we have the return of Suros auto rifles in the Founder weaponry with a new perk, Envious Assassin, for rapidly defeating targets with other weapons. Before drawing this one, transfers ammo to the magazine from reserves. This can overflow the magazine based on number of targets defeated. So a weird version of Reconstruction and Overflow. Although no Suros sights. Wah. Then you also have an unknown auto rifle, possibly from either Neomuna or the raid. Hard to tell. Then going into scout rifles. Let's see. Aisha's, Scholars, Aisha's. The return of Nameless Midnight. That has returned to us back from year 1 with it's still Precision Flame. With a new perk known as Keep Away, increases range, reload, and accuracy when no combatants are close. That's pretty good for scout rifles. Keeps you out of the fight. Bonus perks for doing that as well. I'm excited for that one. Then for any other scout rifles, no other new scout rifles, just Nameless Midnight. Now into pulse rifles. Now let's see, we have Autumn Wind, which is going to be our playlist weapon for Crucible, which is a rapid fire frame pulse rifle. Looks pretty standard nonetheless. Looks like it's giving us a throwback to year 1 Crucible style, but nothing else new there, aside from some pretty decent perks that seem standard. And the return of Battle Scar from year 3 with a unique Founder. So I can't say what Founder this is, but kinetic tremors, new perk. Sustain kinetic damage to a target and makes a shockwave that damages nearby targets. So kinetic now has their own kind of dragonfly now. Sweet. So if you didn't know this one, this is a returning lightweight frame pulse rifle kinetic from Season of the Warmind with a new origin trait, field tested. Defeating targets or dealing damage with this weapon gradually increases range, stability, handling, and reload. Swords gain increased charge rate and guard resistance. Battle Scar actually sounds like it might be good now. It was pretty not great in its original time, but it's actually sounding quite potent now. So, moving into the rest of the things, let's see. Smite of Moraine, Horsley, so it's original. Then we have Yoram's Claw coming in for Iron Banner, new to the season. Returning from year 1, if I recall, with a reworked Skulking Wolf and a variety of other perks. Adaptive Frame, Solar Pulse Rifle, Suros Unique, so just gotta wait and see until we get those to see if it's good. Now, we also have the new Lightfall World Neomuna weapons, Phylotactic Spiral, which is a brand new, very neon-looking, high-impact frame arc pulse rifle with access to keep away, the variety of new perks, and a new origin trait, the new one for Neomuna. Landing multiple hits turns your next shot into a homing micro rocket. I like the sound of that. Oh, that's going to be fun. And then for hand cannons, let's see. We have, oh wait, never got Rose. And we have Round Robin, which is from Neomuna. Ooh, I like the look. Ooh, aggressive frame hand cannon. Those are my favorites. And it's also another Strand weapon right off the bat. So we already have multiple Strand weapons right off the bat. I like how Bungie's doing that. Access to Envious Assassin, Pugilist already sounds like it actually has access to pretty perks, and the Nano Tracer rockets. Ooh boy. Ooh, I'm getting excited. Now let's see. That's Exalted Truth. The return of Trust! Trust is back, and it appears to actually be in Gamut. Trust returns to us. I was such a fan of this one. It had such a good sound and a look to it. But Trust is back. I'm just going to say that again so people understand it. That was a good pulse rifle. So, submachine guns, the Immortal, a Strand aggressive frame submachine gun coming to Trials. Hello there. So we'll have access to field tested, which appears to be just I can't say where it's from. It's not Trials, that's Alacrity. That would be one quite okay, we'll have to see, but it has access to target lock that was primarily available from weapons last season, as well as a variety of other things, aggressive frame, like I said, Strand, and of course access to an adept version. Likely only, likely, it is only from Trials. Then we also have another Strand submachine gun, this one a precision frame like Antiope of old, with access to the Nano Tracer rockets, and a variety of new perks. It already seems like it has some good combinations there. Now, let's see. Hero's Burden. I forget if this one came back this season or last season, but it has new perks, so I'm going to say it's new. And this has Destabilizing Rounds, which is a void perk where final blows will cause nearby targets to become volatile. Oh boy. These builds are going to start getting nuts, I swear. Then for sidearms, we actually got quite a few. Let's see. Allied Demand got refreshed. Buzzard returned to us, as talked about before. Buzzard from Season of Dawn, available in Strike Nightfall weapons. This is currently a Nightfall weapon. Can't say about its perk variety, but I am excited. This was a pretty fun-looking thing. But also, like I said, because it is a Nightfall weapons, comes with new adepts as well. Then we also have the Senuna SI-6, which is the Foundry weapon for Amalon. A new Amalon pulse sidearm is now with us. This one being a stasis one, so Syncopation has a pair for it as well. And a unknown sidearm that will likely be raid-related. Let's see, that's Forgiveness, and that's all of our sidearms. Then for bow, Whistler's Whims got its redone, and Rencouture, which is a stasis combat bow, which is a precision frame compound bow with the new Noble Deeds origin trait, which this weapon gains charges after assisting allies with revives, healing, or overshields, or subclass buffs. Defeating targets consume charges, while charged, this weapon gains bonus handling, reload speed, or charge rate for swords. Now, that definitely seems like a healer support class style origin trait, but I can't say of its effectiveness. Then into shotguns. Now let's see, Astral Horizon has returned to us. It is now brand new with an adept version, and it seems like it's adept guaranteed version of snapshot sights, but this was an aggressive frame shotgun kinetic, returning to us back in Trials once it eventually comes back around again. Aside from that, we have Inquisitor got a refresh, then we also have Gnor's Axe refresh. We have Hand in Hand, a shotgun that just appears to be... This is probably a pure Season of Defiance, if I'm honest, or a dungeon or something. And that is the field tested. This is another aggressive frame shotgun, arc with a variety of perks that I'm liking the look of it. Although I'm also thinking this might be just new EDZ weapons in general from the look of it. Then we also have an unknown shotgun as well as Basso Ostinato, which is a rapid fire frame, Neomuna based void shotgun. I'm kind of excited for that one. Rapid fires aren't that great, but typically rapid fires are cool. Now, Malicious Birthright, that's an adept. Now we have Prodigal Return, which is a lightweight frame, not a wave frame, in case anyone was wondering. A new Salvager Salvo, essentially. Grenade launcher to replace Salvager Salvo, in case that is a good thing, with the season, with the Noble Deeds perk, and a variety of other grenade launcher perks as they come. And you also have the return of Harsh Language, which, if I recall, is just another EDZ open world thing, but this one I think is going to be available from Devrim K again. But this one is a wave frame on return. Ooh. A new wave frame is always nice. Then for fusion rifles, we have, let's see, the Wise and Rebuke, Redo, Deliverance, Burden of Guilt as they came. So we have Royal Encounter from the season that has the Noble Deeds Origin perk, Solar Adaptive Frame Fusion Rifle, in case you were looking for one of those. Then we also have Iterative Loop, which is a Arc Rapid Fire Frame Fusion Rifle from Neomuna. This also has access to the Nanotech Tracer rockets. So far, it seems like I found most of the new perks, though. I haven't seen anything new in a while. For sniper rifles, we have two of them. A new Viced sniper rifle, Stasis 1, in the kinetic slot. We have Irukanji, I think I nailed that, with a variety of perks. Viced, making it more Crucible-based in general. Well, actually, it's hard to say. That's more Suros. But, you know, with the freshly nerfed Viced. And we have Volta Bracket, a Strand aggressive frame sniper rifle. Me likey. I like aggressive frame things. Ooh, with access to Cascade Point. Ooh, that might be uniquely. Then, let's see, any other new snipers? Harrow, Defiance of Yasmin. A Trace Rifle, unknown to us, possibly with the raid. And we also have the Eclectic Distaff, which is our ritual weapon, accessed through any of the Strike playlist and ranking. Adaptive Glade, with the perks Replenishing Agents, where blocking damage partially reloads this weapon. Or Immovable Object, where dealing range damage greatly increases weapon energy while you're stationary with your shield raised. So basically stand and guard. Then we also have Close to Melee, where Glade Projectile Final Blows improve Glade melee damage. We also have Destabilizing Rounds, where nearby targets can become volatile. I'm kind of excited to try that one out. I'm not the biggest fan of glaives, but I'm excited to give that a whirl. Into our heavy weapons. So we know we have a sword. We have Caretaker, which is new to the season. Noble Deeds, a adaptive frame, not Vortex, like its original Claymore-style sword would give you, but variety of sword-based perks. This one might actually benefit pretty good from Noble Deeds, if I'm honest. You also have Nazradin, which is available, probably also more seasonal from the EDZ, access to that field-tested perk, but also a variety of other sword perks. Hard to tell, though. New swords are usually just other swords. They're not exactly new. So, for grenade launchers, we have Reagent, which is a seasonal grenade launcher. Void, adaptive frame, access to the Noble Deeds perk. So, in case you needed something there. Honestly, looks a bit chunky because of that crystal. And then we have Marcelion C, a rapid-fire frame Hake grenade launcher. The return of those to the modern day. Access to the Hake Breach Ornaments perk. With a jury's out on whether or not that might be a good meta thing. And we also have from Neomuna, just wait a minute, this is a new kind. Compressed wave frame. Projectiles release a wave of compressed energy when they contact the ground. A heavy wave frame. Hey now. And stasis. With access to the Neomuna Tracer rockets. That's going to be some fun. I'm already calling it. That's gonna have some wacky times. Now, rocket launchers, the redo of Roar the Bear. Let's see. Oh, no new rocket launchers this season. How shameful is that? For linear fusion rifles, no new ones aside from the unknown in the raid slot. So another raid linear fusion rifle. See if it's going to be as meta as a Clismic. And then for machine guns, we have, let's see, Unwavering Duty. Just one in the form of Circular Logic, an adaptive Strand machine gun. With a variety of new perks, tracer rockets, so this one's going to be another fun one as well. So there you have it. That is all of the gear and weapons currently available on, with the launch of Lightfall. I imagine all those unknowns are raid weapons, of course, as expected. Lots of access, and to remind you, we also got a quick peek at something that is not exactly to be seen. If you want to head down to, I'll make a separate video to talk about it, but we also have access to the ornament of Vexcalibur, which we'll just have to wait and see how that turns out. With that, my name is Matt Scorpion. I'll see you in the next video.